Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. At the Abbott mansion, Billy tells Jack he's lost his mother, and his brother panics, thinking she's passed away. Billy says that's not what he means by that. She's ill, but that didn't stop her from stabbing him in the heart. Jack learns she took Chancellor from him and handed it to Victor. Jack gets up to speed on Jill's heart condition and asks if it led to her making such a drastic move. Billy says partly, but she wasn't happy with some of his choices. He obliged her and fired Phyllis and brought Lily back in, but she still sold him out to Victor. Jack's not surprised that Victor took advantage. He's been busy making trouble for this family. Billy thinks someone should make trouble for him. Jack guesses he has a plan for payback and wants his help. Billy nods, "Dan right I do." Jack warns that Billy can't let his feelings get ahead of his judgment. Billy says Victor will get his. That's not actually why he's there right now. He's thinking in more practical terms. He needs to save face after the media's hit pieces. Jack asks how he can help. Billy says with Kyle defecting to Glissade and dying out, he needs a second in command. Jack realizes he's asking to come back to Jabot. At the hospital, Elena worries about Daniel, who seems to be beating himself up over something. She asks him about saying he feels guilty. Daniel feels responsible for his mother's accident. She can recommend a therapist, but Daniel doesn't think he needs one of those quite yet. Talk turns to his history. He says this can all be traced back to when Cassie Newman died. He can't help but feel it's triggered a lot of the events that have happened lately. Elena thinks Sharon is responsible, but Daniel says it all started with him. If he hadn't drank that night and Cassie hadn't tried to drive, maybe Heather would be alive, and his mother wouldn't be lying there right now. Elena warns Daniel he can't blame himself. He can make a different choice, to heal. The way he does that is by forgiving himself. Lucy appears and says, "She's right, Dad." Daniel hugs his daughter. At Crimson Lights, Kyle senses that Summer is holding back. They discuss how they couldn't share things with each other during the custody dispute. Summer tells her ex she can't believe this is happening. It's crazy. Kyle thinks it's good that Daniel's been exonerated. Summer is glad he'll be able to grieve now. She doubts they'll ever be able to forgive Sharon. Kyle tells her he can relate to the feeling of life giving you much more than you can handle. Summer can see that Kyle's upset. Kyle changes the subject back to her, Daniel, and Phyllis. Summer says she's trying to be strong like her mom right now. Kyle says Phyllis never shies away from a problem. Through sheer will and determination, she would make sure things go her way. Summer nods. Maybe she needs a perspective shift and focus on a positive mindset. She is going to be Oak. Kyle thinks it will take more than a car accident to take Phyllis Summers out. Summer places her hand on his arm and thanks him as Chance comes in. Chance approaches and says he's surprised to see Summer there and not at the hospital. Summer says she was just getting coffee. She asks Kyle to give Harrison a kiss for her and they part ways. Chance asks if there's news about her mom. Summer says she's still unconscious, and the more she thinks about it, the more she realizes that this is his fault. Chance gets that Summer is upset with him. He arrested her brother and didn't follow up on Phyllis' claims that Sharon was the murderer. Summer says, "You're right, I am upset. Just because Daniel was exonerated doesn't get him off the hook. If he'd arrested Sharon, she wouldn't have been able to run her mother off the road." Chance thinks she's looking for someone to blame. Summer says he's being totally dismissive of her feelings about his part in all of this. Chance is a cop and doesn't have the luxury of feelings. There was zero evidence of Sharon's involvement. Summer fumes, because you stopped looking for it. You had plenty of opportunities to do things differently, and you chose not to. That's not how Chance sees it. He was doing his job. Summer says Daniel's her brother. He needed to do more than just the bare minimum of his job. Chance says they have to find a way to get past this. Summer isn't sure there is a way. In the hospital, Lucy asks Elena if Phyllis can hear her. Elena can't confirm that, but in her heart she thinks she can. Lucy walking in with all that love certainly can't hurt. Daniel thanks Elena for everything as she exits the room. Lucy tells Phyllis she's missed her so much. She wants to tell her about a boy she met on tour with Grandpa. Daniel frowns. How old is this boy? Lucy laughs that he's her age. She tells Phyllis about them holding hands. He's one of the sound guy's sons, and his name is Scotty. We're going to text. She thinks he and Phyllis would get along. He knows that a girl wants a guy who will actually listen to her. At the Abbott mansion, Billy tells Jack there's no learning curve, so he can start the job on day one. Jack will admit that his family situation has taken a toll. Billy can take the load off and they work well together. It's win/win. Jack mutters and Billy can understand why he's skeptical. He made quite a speech when he left the last time, but he's been through the ringer, both personally and professionally, and has learned that he can count on his brother, unlike other members of his family. Jill ripped the carpet out from under him and handed it to Victor. Jack wonders if Victor will put Victoria in at Chancellor to replace him. Billy says it's Nikki. Unlike my mother, Victor puts his family first. He needs to move forward with Jack at Chabat. He respects his leadership. Jack is touched by him saying that. Billy asks, is that a yes? Jack hesitates. It's just, Billy frowns. Does he not think he's capable, or has he screwed up too many times? Jack assures him he's not thinking that way. Billy's asking for a lifeline. Jack tells him, I'm sorry, Billy. I can't.